Hey Blades! Man, we got a new version of an old friend here today to look at. So about a year ago, I reviewed the Knafs Lander. It was a small, it was quite a bit smaller than this one. Same knife, but it was a budget version. It had a D2. It was made extremely budget conscious, but it was a well-made knife. Had the Axis style lock on it. It was a great little knife for what it was. It was a budget knife. So like all or most companies, when they have a successful product, they put out a little nicer version of it, a little larger version, or sometimes a smaller version. Well, that's what they did here. They come out with the Lander 2. Biggest improvement in this one is it's an S35EN, which is a huge jump from D2 in my book. The original Lander version was a little bit small for my 2XL gloved hands. This one fits. I mean, I can easily get a 4-finger grip. This is the definition of a plain old good pocket knife. You know, there's no frills, no spills. It's just a pocket knife. I mean, it'll probably last you a generation. I mean, you'll never need another one. And it's very inexpensive for what you get. I think this around $100 or a little more. But man, you get a great knife that's solid and doesn't have play in the blade, and has running on bearings. Just a great little knife. To look at a couple of size comparisons, we'll do the standard Rat 1 and Rat 2, but I want to add one more to that mix because you see, like a lot of knives, it falls in between there. If you're familiar with the newer Rat 1.5, it's about that sweet spot. It's about the exact same size, and it's a good range for a knife you want to carry if you work in an office setting. I mean, you could work in construction and carry this knife; it would do just fine. But it's a lighter use knife. If you work in heavy construction, the Rat 1 would be more your style probably. But Knafs is a great company run by a great guy. Ben's a guy that's been in the knife community a long time. You'll remember him from his videos. What's up, guys? He used to do videos for, I believe, Blade HQ. Just an all-around good dude. He's no telling how many videos this guy has on YouTube. It's substantial. Let's take a couple of measurements of it. They also have the banter and big banter. They have a version of this in 20CV, but at the time that I bought this, I would have bought the 20CV version, but I couldn't find it in a non-coated blade for some reason. I don't know if it was like a special edition run and they only did it in coating, but I don't do coated blades. So 3 1/4 blades, all right, 4 1/4 on the handle scales. Just a cool little run around everyday knife. Jimping feels really nice on top. It goes way up here where you can get good purchase on it. Do some detailed cuts. Blade's not overly thick. Looks like it's about 100 thousandths. They always come plenty sharp. The liners, it has full steel liners in it, and they have weight relief throughout. You might be able to see that there. Probably not because it's all black, but there's like square cutouts all the way down. Speaking of the weight, let's check it out. .8 ounces. That's super light. And since it's brand new, hasn't cut anything, let's check the sharpness. See how good they do at sharpening. Like I said, you got to take this test with a grain of salt. Sometimes it can vary one way or another depending on how you push it down. And I'm pretty frequent at the same. And 140, that's excellent. I mean, 100 is double edge razor blade sharp. 200 is razor blade sharp. So it falls on the lower side of double edge razor blade sharp. So that's all you need. I don't think you need it any sharper than that. You start to get any sharper than that, and your blade's gonna roll pretty quickly. Especially with the S35VN, it's not the hardest steel in the world, not the toughest steel in the world. So overall, man, I'd give this thing 2 thumbs up. This is just a great knife. I think every knife collector should have one of these. This is what you throw in the pocket when you're running out in the garage or you're running out in the yard to do some work. This one you just don't worry about hurting. It's G10 scales and S35VN. You can beat on it all day long and wash it off, and it'll still look the same. Another great thing about this is like his other, like the other Lander is the scales are very easily changed out. And you can, it's open source. You can print whatever kind of 3D print whatever kind of scales you want. There are unlimited scales for this thing. So I don't have my original Lander. I actually ordered some super nice scaled titanium. You know, those scales milled in it. It was beautiful. I gave it to my grandfather for Christmas last year. He loves it. Carries it every day. And he's got a lot smaller hands than I do, and you know I like a little bit bigger knives. This one's more up my alley than the Lander was, but very nice for the price. You can't beat it. $100. I think it was $118. I don't know why that number's sticking in my head. I think that was the number, but you get to buy a great knife, support a good guy in the knife community. Oh, how can you lose? Guys, thanks for watching. God bless you and your families. Say a prayer for our country. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. It doesn't cost you anything. Just click subscribe and throw us a like. It really helps us out. It doesn't cost you a thing. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Good night.